Hi.
Hey Jordan, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Good, good, good. Good, good. Thank you for asking me to do this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Sure. 100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So I was thinking we could just jump right into it, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Um, I've obviously seen your stuff on TikTok, that was where I first saw you, but then went back and listened, to the 2018 album, on Spotify, and then was checking out YouTube and just all the different platforms, and just seems like you have a really awesome story to tell. And I wanted to kind of get into it and hear about your journey, especially uh, from the musician's kind of beginner's perspective, because there's, for us, part of what our company does is help musicians to get started in general, just like people who are even nervous to pick up an instrument, or like just get started singing or writing, or get over the hump of trying. Because I know so many people that have, they thought they couldn't do it, and then they tried, and then now, they've been a musician for 15 years or whatever,
Yeah.
so um, I'd love to just start with you at the beginning of your journey, and kind of how you got started playing music, and kind of maybe your first instruments or first influences, at whatever age that was.
Sure, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So I would say my first real musical experience is I was when I was 10 years old. I was in Les Miserables on Broadway. I played got Rush, and so that got in my blood, that music.
Yeah.
And I have a video. I have a couple of Les Mis videos on TikTok, and
Mm.
yeah. So I guess yeah. So my first influence was definitely musical theater, and I used to I did learn how to read music at an early age, and like I learned how to read chord symbols around 10 or 11, and I always gravitated to the piano. I did take trumpet in middle school, and actually I was never a great trumpet player, but it helped me a lot to practice reading music. And so I do recommend learning how to play multiple instruments. Even if you're not great at it, it'll still help you in your musical journey. When I was like 11 or 12, 13, I didn't really want to act anymore. I didn't have that passion for that, but I used to play piano all the time. And I was having some difficulty speaking to people and making friends. And so I became very fluent at the piano.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I still feel like music is like my first language.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I always kind of started out as like an improviser,
Mm.
also, but I did read music, so I always kind of combined both of them and everything. And but I always kind of wonder, like if we had smartphones like in the 90s, and if we had TikTok and Facebook, if I would have even like had been able to have the discipline to practice and to play all the time.
Mm.
So then I got really into jazz piano when I was like around 17 or 18, and I went to college at SUNY New Paltz, and for jazz piano, but I always kind of felt like is jazz like a thing of the past or something. And then I got really into songwriting when I was around 20, and I was a double major in music and in psychology, and I took this class in college, the psychology of motivation, and it was the best class I ever took, because the term project was to set goals for yourself and work on it a little bit every day. I mean, I don't know how I did this in a semester, but I actually wrote like 7 songs, and I got a band together, and I recorded like a CD. Um, like
Wow.
like in the span of those 6 months or something. And so that song's not available. I mean, that album's not available. But that's when I first kind of got the songwriting bug that I really, really wanted to create. And then I started to play at piano bars. And so, and
Mm.
I still do that. And of course, everyone asks for Piano Man.
Yeah.
And everybody always asks for that. And then Benny and the Jets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, actually, so one thing that was a pivotal moment in my music life is I decided to go to the ASCAP Expo in Hollywood. I didn't know anybody in Hollywood in LA, and I wasn't going with anybody. I was just like completely on my own. And I met so many amazing songwriters there. A few are still my very good friends, and that event was important because I got to meet a lot of people that had the same drive that I had and the same ambition. And and songwriters are quirky, fun people, and brooding on the inside or whatever. And so
Mhm.
at that moment I was like, I found my people. And then I was kind of hooked. Like I went to various ASCAP expos. One of them, Stevie Wonder was a speaker.
Wow.
One of them, Bruno Mars was a speaker, and I think for me, it's something about that experience, like maybe be like, oh, like yeah, like it's actually not easy to write a pop song, like.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
because like a certain point when I was really into jazz and I was like, oh, like it has like 28 chords in this song and the circle of fifths and all this music theory, and then I look at like a Bruno Mars song that only has 3 chords, so I was kind of like, oh, like, but then I realized that there's a lot of important factors, and then I just sort of and so I worked on my original music at the recording studio for probably 7 years
Wow.
before I released anything. And I'm not sure what I would recommend, what I would advise to
Mhm.
people starting out. I know for me personally, I had made a decision when I was like 20 or something like that, that like, so I was like, I want to do a full length album. Like, I
Mhm.
love albums. I want to just make an album with like 11 songs. And so, but even though that's not really where the direction of the music business is, like, I sort of wish I would have released one song at a time and then release the album like a lot of people.
Mm.
But I think my psychology was like, oh, but all these songs are different sides of me, and I want people to hear like all the songs at the
Yeah.
same time. But I
Yeah.
think if I had to go back and do it again, I may want to just like release it song by song or 2 songs each or whatever. But I'm very proud of the album, and I'm gonna have vinyl records
Yes.
I made up, and as well as CDs. And I still have people that are interested in buying vinyls, autographed vinyls. So if you are
Yeah.
listening and you want an autographed vinyl record of 11 original songs,
Yeah.
I got all these like pro musicians to play on it, and it's like, so it was really yeah, it's like I was working with a producer who was like a perfectionist like I was, but that's also kind of, it's a dangerous line to walk, because
Mhm.
if there's 2 perfectionists, it's like it's gonna take. But I think he was the type of person that really pushed me to sing better, to write better
Mm.
songs, and like he wasn't just gonna be passive. And because I've been to studios before, and it's just an engineer, and they smile and they press record, and then okay,
Yeah.
Is that done?
Yep.
And so that's not really how you're going to grow, especially when you're starting out. I think it's really important to have like a mentor and a collaborator and somebody to, to tell you, be honest with you, like, oh, well, I like this
Hmm.
song better than the other song, because that gives you a clue. It's like, okay, like in this song, maybe I was on the right track. And then I also did this workshop, Tony Caniff's songwriting workshop, and actually a few of my best songs came out of that workshop. And there would be assignments every week to write a new song. And like an example of an assignment would be like write lyrics that use all five senses. What you
Wow.
see, what you hear, what you touch. And I got two great songs out of that exercise. Like it's great to put yourself out there, collaborate. And I have co-written with a few people. I want to do some more co-writing. So if you're watching and you want to write with me, drop me a message, because I am looking for. So, and then I also want to give a shout out to because now they don't have the ASCAP Expo anymore, but I do want to give a shout out to the Durango Songwriters Expo.
Oh,
And that's incredible. I've been going pretty much every time. It's going to be in Ventura, California in about I'm in like about a month. And yeah, the Durango Songwriter Expo, and there's opportunities to play live and to play the recordings of your songs for your music supervisors and A&R people. Like it's exciting, but it could also be scary to put yourself out there. Like even though everything that I've like achieved, it's so hard for me to take, a criticism about a song, like especially if it's a song that is already out there and that I'm very proud of, and that was, let's say, very expensive to produce and very time consuming to produce, and then for somebody to say, oh, well, I like the lyrics and melody, and your voice is good, but I just don't like the production. It sounds kind of dated. It sounds kind of nice.
mm,
And so they just like have dismissed it sometime. And or like I wrote a song called An Island with No Name. And I mean, out of all the songs I wrote, this one, it's like the happiest. It's like an escape. It's like like a reggae feel to it. And it's like a on an island with no name, we can ride the ocean waves. About time we got away to an island with no name. I actually wrote the verse, and I was kind of like in the middle of writing that one, and I didn't really have those lyrics for the chorus that I just sang. And from the listening session, they suggested like, and something just clicked because I put
mm,
myself out there and I was listening to other people and everything. So that helped me to finish some songs also, just by being around like-minded creative people.
hmm hmm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Just that experience. It sounds like to me, a lot of your experience has been kind of catapulted by placing yourself in the environment where people are going to push you forward, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yes, absolutely. And I think it's also really important to surround yourself with people that are going to push you to grow and are supportive. And I know like when I first started being like, I'm going to write songs, like some of my friends weren't really taking that seriously, or they were like just on a different wavelength. And then when I found the other songwriter friends, it was like, oh, like they get it also. So
yeah. Yeah. That's
and
exciting.
I started also going to a lot of open mics in New York,
Mm,
um, which is also like a similar thing. So, I found that the the community of singer songwriters was generally very supportive, and just everybody was really nice and appreciative of each other's stuff. By contrast, when I first got out of college and I wanted to play jazz, I found that a lot of jazz musicians I was playing with sort of had an attitude or were like maybe
Mm,
jaded by the music business. It's not to slight jazz because I love jazz and I play jazz, but I found that the support was more more encouraging, like for people that were like writing their own original music and
hmm.
putting themselves out there. And I felt like again, like I found my people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool. I think that that's so true too. I mean, as a songwriter in general, you really do have to take that risk of allowing people to hear, your creation and kind of wondering what they're going to think about it, you know? And so I just, that's an amazing place to be as far as meeting up with songwriters, going to expos, just be doing the songwriting workshop, Tony Kniff's thing. You know what I mean? Like doing those different things to help grow your skills and meet other people that are going to help you continue along that journey and get better at what you're doing. That just it to me. Um, there's so many times in my experience where I've tried to go at a project on my own and it just never works as well as if you have more people.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really true. There's a bunch of songs that I haven't finished because
mm,
because I'm doing it by myself and and I get distracted by a TikTok or something. And I do want to get better at production, like producing demos and stuff. And I'm not really that great at that, but definitely when I was doing my album, I was working with people who were very good at that, and so I
mm-hmm.
and but yeah, so and then so I didn't even talk about TikTok yet. That's a whole other
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing about your TikTok journey for sure.
Yeah, so that was all very unexpected, and it definitely came out of 2020 being quarantined, having a lot of time on my hands. My first couple of TikToks were just like playing and then my dog. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
So that was like yes. So I was like
That was one of my favorite. So when I find somebody on TikTok, usually one of the things that I do personally is I scroll all the way down through like the beginning because I like seeing where people started.
yeah.
And so that I thought with the dog was so funny. Oh, I mean, I thought that was brilliant, really.
But it's interesting. So I did that as my first one because at the time I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was like, yeah, let me just put something funny out there and everyone loves dogs and everything. But that didn't get me more followers. What really helped me is when I decided to create content for other people. So I mean, like I said, I came out of having too much time in an apartment, and so I was diving in deep into TikTok, and I saw like I started to see some instrumentalists and some piano players and playing karaoke versions, and there was mostly Broadway, but then there was some pop songs and playing and having the lyrics written on the screen. And for me, those are my most popular videos. And I think it's interesting because like I'm playing them, but I'm playing them in the way that I would accompany myself,
Mm,
which is different than if I were to play a solo piano version of John Legend's All of Me. So I'm playing it intentionally to support the singer. And once I started getting people to duet, then it started to grow. The first big one was Bohemian Rhapsody.
mm.
Uh,
When was that? When do you remember when you did that?
September 2020.
Okay, okay.
So that's actually when I really started, like when I was just like in the apartment by myself, and like there was one video that I had a lot of fun making. I don't know if you remember, there was like a viral video of this guy on a skateboard listening to Fleetwood Mac with cranberry juice. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
don't remember seeing it.
So yeah, so it was like super viral. So I took that trend and I got a bottle of cranberry juice like he had in his video, and I was drinking while I was playing. And so that's an example of like having a little fun with it and using the trend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like if I see that there's like a trend for my suggestion on how to grow for TikTok is to create content that other people can interact with.
That's beautiful.
That's how I've grown it. And I do feel like I'm giving people something,
Mm-hmm.
giving people an experience where I'm playing the song and I'm giving them the lyrics and I'm inviting them. Like I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
inviting them in every video I write, sing with me, So and in return, I'm getting more followers and more deals and brand deals and everything. There's this musical instrument company, Donner, and they gave me this. Um,
Oh wow.
and it's like a full 88 keys. So I made a video to promote it, and I continue to make videos, and I really, really love it. And
Mm-hmm.
it worked out because I was looking for a for a new one anyway. That
That's so cool. So it's like an electric piano, the
it
Donner.
is it is. Yeah, yeah. It's very like it feels like a real piano, and it has built-in speakers, or it could also plug in. But yeah,
Wow.
so then all of a sudden all these things started to happen, but really all started with the idea that, you know what, I'm not going to make this all about me, because I could have sang all the songs, but I realized that what was working, and it actually was very exciting for me and still is, to be able to connect virtually, especially when everything is shut down
Mm-hmm.
and there was no karaoke, and I wasn't able to do a lot of these events that I've normally been able to do. And but I have found that there is a little bit of an interest in my original music from my followers. I'm still working on that, but I would say also, another piece of advice is, like, if you're a songwriter, make an open verse challenge, whether
Mm.
that's a good way to promote your song. Social media is meant to be social. It's not just
Mm.
me promoting me. It's being social. And on TikTok, I've been able to connect with people, not exactly the same way on Instagram and Facebook. Like on Facebook, it's more like my friends and I'm showing them what I do on TikTok. Other thing is just, consistency. And I've been having a lot of fun making these new duet videos. And sometimes, like, I'll just get a song that pops in my head, like Titanium. That was one of my biggest videos.
When would you say that, brands and companies and other people, started reaching out to you, like Donner and, other brands to help like represent them? Was that sort of kind of like midway through the journey, or has that been more recently?
Um, it started like maybe like a year after I started or something. I would
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, I would say probably when I reached 100,000 followers,
Mm-hmm.
that I started to get offers. And so now I have a manager who helps me with the stuff, and I have had Joss Stone's team reach out to me, and I played with her live, and that
Yeah.
was crazy. I didn't expect. I didn't like. I was like really skeptical about it. I was like, I don't know if this is really gonna happen, but I'll just go with it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then not only did I meet her and perform with her, but she was like the nicest, sweetest person ever. Hunter Hayes' team reached out to me and my manager and asked me to play piano one of his new songs, and so, I've had fun journey. And then when I went back to Durango, the Durango Expo, and everybody's like, "Oh, you have all these followers now." I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh, that's awesome.
thank you. Create content. I would say if you're an instrumentalist or you're a vocalist, I would say a duet with people.
It was really cool, to see the Joss Stone thing. Can you talk a little bit more about like how that experience was when they reached out to you? Did they discover you on TikTok and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, do you want to play some music with Joss Stone?" Like,
Her team found me on TikTok and they reached out to me and I was like, oh, this scene is too good to be true. Like, how do I know this is really gonna happen? But I took a leap of faith, and sometimes you have to do that. That was actually at the BMI office in the New World Trade Center
wow.
building, which I had never been before. So that was also really interesting. I think it was helpful that I had a manager, somebody to negotiate and make you more professional.
When you were 10, you were in Les Mis on Broadway. Was that something that, your family was into and they, encouraged you to audition? Or was that something that you discovered and you said, hey, I really want to do this? Kind of how did that come about for you at that age? And what was that experience like?
So I started acting when I was around 7, and I was in New York, and so I'm in a dentist's office in New York City, and somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey," or they came up to my parents. They're like, "Hey, I think you'd be great on commercials and everything. Do you want to try this out?" And so we went, and I auditioned for my manager, and my family and I didn't have any background in acting. It just kind of happened and we just kind of ran with it. Like in the late 90s, I also had some acting jobs on Saturday Night Live and Conan O'Brien, like from 95 to 99 or something. I was even in a boy band actually that went on to be called Dream Street. My parents wanted me to leave because it was really shady, and also I wasn't a dancer. Like they tried to teach me to dance because like it was 99. It was like the height of like the boy band thing, and but it was like everybody was like 12, 13. But it was, yeah, so that was like a whole other adventure. The experience of being in Les Mis, I would say, was one of the major influences. My love for music really came out of being on stage and hearing this whole orchestra play all this beautiful Broadway music. And when I write songs, a lot of people still say like, "Oh, you should write a musical," but I'm not really interested in writing a musical. Yeah, because it's a lot. If anybody's watching this now that has like an interesting idea for my music or something, I would be down. But just like out of the blue, it wouldn't be my first choice. So,
No.
I mean, I like that on TikTok, I'm able to do all different genres. Like I do pop songs, I do Broadway songs, I do jazz songs, and it's still very exciting for me every time there's like a new duet. Like especially if there is an incredible singer, and even the singers that are not good but write things like this is the first video that I posted on TikTok, and I've never posted myself singing before, but your music inspired me to do that. Like that's such a wonderful thing too. You don't have to be an amazing singer for it to make a positive impact. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's really nice. And I do feel like I am making a lot of people really happy. And I do feel like it's something that I kind of want to give to people. And I found out that that's the best way to grow exponentially. Because like every once in a while, somebody with like 2 million followers will sing a song with me. So if you're watching and you're an instrumentalist, I would recommend giving it a shot to just like play the accompaniment, or if you sing the first line and then have somebody else collaborate. That I think a lot of it also is like, for me, I think like, but like to remove that sort of ego about it, and that it's actually like I'm creating content that's giving people joy
Yeah. Yeah. And interaction. I love the
and makes me
communal
happy.
aspect. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It makes you happy. It makes them happy. It's uplifting. It's positive. And I think that goes back. I was reading the reviews about your album, and listening to your album. And I just I think that it's so cool that that's an intention of yours. And I just think that's something to spread in general, is the intention of being positive and making a positive impact and affecting the world in a positive way.
Yeah.
Is just, that's so inspiring. And I really appreciate that about what you do, not only with your original music, but on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I think you're absolutely right. I think people do love it. And you can see it in the comments too. I mean, people all the time are like, Jordan's the man. We love this, like, we love what you do. It's just, it's so cool to see people coming back and thanking you in a sense,
Yeah.
for offering what you're offering, and that's really special. That's a really special interaction.
Thank you so much. Before I started writing songs, I was just like playing piano as my therapy, and I was like in my teenage years, I was like very depressed, and I didn't want to go to school, and I didn't really want to like it was hard for me to make friends, and my anxiety was really. And so what I would do is I would just like play, and I'd start like this kind of minor sad stuff, and then I would like lift it up and like end happier. And I try to do that with my songs too, like especially Lover and a Giver. um
Mm.
that one, like it starts off sort of like me observing the division in the world, and then has a lift, and it starts off with like a minor chord, and then it has a lift. I have another song I have a called Like Me that is on my TikTok, and that's about social media, but it's not produced and released yet, so I'm looking for a producer. on that.
Cool. Okay. Right on.
And for that one, I do like more like bluesy, jazzy style a little bit, but it's still kind of pop. But it's like me and follow me. You liking me is what sets me free. Oh, like me and follow me. That's why I work so hard on my new selfie. Like me and follow me. Yeah, say goodbye to privacy. Whoa. But if you psych me out and you strike me down, well, you're only trolling 'cause you're feeling lonely. And I wonder if you're insecure like me. Wonder if you're an attention whore like me. At the end of the day, at the end of the night, everybody just wants to be liked like me.
Yeah. So you're looking for a producer for that one.
Yeah.
Cool. And your voice, did you have vocal training, or did you just start singing naturally? I mean, you have a really, really awesome voice.
Thank you. I mean, so to be honest with that, so I had vocal training when I was a kid doing musicals, but that was completely different than what I do now. At least it feels completely different for me. And so, like in my teenage years, when I was playing piano more, I was singing less. So,
Mm.
I mean, I didn't really have a lot of singing training as an adult, but I think what really helped actually is like a 4-hour piano bar gigs. I was singing, like eventually just by experience, I started to like sing better.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the piano bar experience. So when did you start doing piano bars, and kind of like how's that experience been?
Like I started to really enjoy getting everyone to sing along. Like singing really makes people happy.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah.
yeah. So I enjoy contributing to that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, for the piano bars and restaurants, like I remember there was one gig years that was like 4 hours on weekdays or 5 hours on weekends.
Wow.
I mean, I had to like they wanted me to learn like newer songs, and they wanted me to sing every song too. So that was like
Mm-hmm.
really intense, but really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to like learn by experience, like, especially vocally. I
Yeah.
find also that playing a lot of cover songs helps me to be a better songwriter too, because I kind of see like what moves people. So I think it's important for people to figure out like what they're best at, kind of run with it, and then get other people on your team that are good at that and good at.
Looking forward, in the next years to come, what are some of your ambitions or dreams or goals, that you envision for yourself? What are some of the things that you'd like to accomplish?
Yeah, well, I would like to release more songs and another album and make a music video for Like Me. My day job is I'm a piano teacher. Teach, but to have this balance, and it's also one of my goals to play at like a bigger venue in New York and to somehow get the TikTok following to transfer into going to see my live shows.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't quite been able to do, so that's one of my goals too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I was excited about reaching out to you specifically was that you had, come over to our page. You had seen a Taylor Swift video, I think, and you commented, you're like, "Oh, following, you guys now." And then
Yeah, yeah.
you came back and saw some of our videos about the app and like, making playlists for people to request songs and stuff. And you had commented,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to kind of hear your perspective of that, and see what you think, because we're new, we're a new company, we're a new app, and we're excited about being able to help people interact with music and live shows, and being able to send song requests, and then being able to help musicians earn an income by receiving paid song requests from their audience during a show, or for video or whatever it is. So it was exciting to us to have you kind of reach out and say, hey, this is pretty cool what you guys are doing. And so number one, thank you for that. We really appreciate that.
Sure.
But just kind of wanted to see what your thoughts were in general, and if that was something that you were interested in, and that kind of thing, because it's been really cool journey, especially with TikTok, to see people, like, especially someone like you who's very accomplished, as this wide range of musical experience and professional experience, and all these different things, and that so many people can learn from. And to be able to even have this conversation, to me, I think is just such a blessing, and I'm appreciative of that. So
Well, I really appreciate that also. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what I was talking about, before too, that like social media, it's about being social. It's about looking at other people's pages, and even though nowadays like my feed is all like they made a duet with you, they made a duet with you and everything, but like I want to
mhm.
like look at other people's stuff and interact with other people's stuff. And I saw the Song Me app, and it looked really interesting. I think that'll really help. So I'm playing at this restaurant, like a piano bar, and I get a lot of requests, and then some people like don't know what to request because they don't know what I know. And I was thinking of like printing out like an old-fashioned binder with all my songs, but so I'm gonna definitely use the Song Me app.
The way we kind of made it was so, like, even you can even make like multiple playlists, kind of like Spotify, where like you can have different genres of, like, you can do pop music, or Broadway or whatever, make different playlists of different music, so people can kind of have that experience of browsing like they would on Spotify, and then be able to like find a song that resonates with them, that you already know. So that was kind of the whole idea, was to give people that view into what you do. So
Yeah, I love that, and I'm definitely gonna use it. Yeah.
cool. Thanks, man. That's really cool.
Sure.
Really cool.
Like it's all about that connection. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That actually, that's exciting for me, because we interact with many musicians and singers, and I personally enjoy so much the watching part of TikTok. I like making posts, but I love watching people perform and make creative videos and all these wonderful things that people are doing. And so I have a lot of favorites, and I have a lot of people who I interact with. So when I saw that video when you sent it to us, and the comment was like tag a singer, I'm like, man, I know like 20 people like, or more that would like crush this. So yeah, if that's something we can do, we have tons of singers we can definitely send over to duet. And I would honestly, I'd love to see them do those duets. So that's exciting. That's really cool.
Can I play the next part of Like Me to close out?
Please do. That'd be perfect. Thanks.
So this, yeah, it's my social media sound. So everything we were talking about, like me and follow me down the rabbit hole of curiosity. Like me and follow me, search me until you find the fantasy. Whoa, like me and follow me, it's the only way my brain releases dopamine. Whoa, I love that line.
Yeah.
I need instant praise every single day. Yeah, I use a filter and I don't feel guilty. And I wonder if you're insecure like me. Wonder if you're an attention whore like me. At the end of the day, at the end of the night, everybody just wants to be liked like me. That's the D minor blues scale I'm using.
Wow.
Changing your perception with a little side deception. I just want a real connection, but all I see is my own reflection, and I can't take no more rejection. I can't take no more rejection. Oh.
Yes.
If you don't like me and follow me, drown in the ocean of misery. So like me and follow me. Yeah, that's why I work so hard and mine is selfie. Like me and follow me. It's time to embrace the fantasy. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I wonder if you're insecure like me. Wonder if you're an attention whore like me. At the end of the day, at the end of the night, everybody just wants to be liked like me. So
Yeah.
I haven't released that one yet. I think that's my favorite original to play live. I think because I love seeing the smiles on people's faces and like it's.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting also because I wrote it like in 2019. I wrote it
Oh, wow.
before my TikTok success. So and I just kind of wrote it as like a joke, like when I was going to open mics and everybody was like me and follow me, I'll follow you back and we'll follow each other. So like yeah, I played it at the Durango Expo, and somebody was like, "Oh, like your song manifested all of that or something." I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
maybe, maybe." But definitely, yeah. Like some of the lyrics that I actually wrote before lockdown now have like another meaning, like the line about like I just want a real connection, but all I see is my own reflection. Like every
Mm.
time I do a live stream, I'm seeing myself. I'm not really like I want to connect, and I am in my own way, but I can't take no more rejection. And so the song is actually about not being able to stand any more rejection,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be liked and So, I mean, as of now, I just looked at TikTok and I had 10 million likes. They actually counted all of them, which is kind of insane. But like I said, more than the statistics and the numbers, it's about that connection, that human
Mhm.
connection.
Yeah, yeah, that's a beautiful thing, and it's a perfect song for all of that. And great way to close it out. That was awesome.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Thank you. I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. I really appreciate you taking the time, and it's been so cool to hear about some of your journey, and the especially the tips too, talking about the different expos and workshops, and just ways to keep people motivated and accountable towards their goals. It's just really it's really cool to hear all your ideas. So thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks for sharing.
yeah. Thank you. And so you're based in Chicago or
Atlanta, actually. Yeah,
Atlanta? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
Yep. So actually, our CEO, though, our Song Me CEO lives in Brooklyn.
Nice,
So yeah, he's not too far from you. Uh, but
nice.
yeah, yeah. So very cool. Well, hey, I'll definitely keep in touch. Let me know what you think about the app. Once you get it downloaded, and
Yes, I'm
you
excited to
know,
use it. I'm excited. Yeah.
cool. Thanks. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, definitely looking forward to staying connected, and thanks again, for the chat.
sure. This was a lot of fun.
Cool.
This is
Awesome.
awesome.
All right. Well, take care.
All right, thanks. Have a
Yep.
good
Thank
one.
you. All right. Bye bye.